चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानातिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्थावरजङ्गमव्यक्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। पवनचर्यापि यत्सर्वं हे लोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सर्वशक्तिशरोरत्नं विरचितापदाम्बुजः वेदान्ताम्बुजसूर्योय तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चैतन्यशाश्वतशान्तो व्योमतीतो निरञ्जनः बिन्दुनाथकलातीतं तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ज्ञानशक्तिसमारुद्धः तत्त्वमालाविभूषितः मुक्तिप्रदत्तः च तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अनेकजन्मसम्प्राप्तः कर्मबन्धविदाहिने आत्मज्ञानप्रदानेन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। शोषणं भावसिन्धुश्च ज्ञापनं सारसम्पदः गुरुपादोदकं सम्यक् तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। न गुरुराधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरुराधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानं परं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। मानतः श्री जगन्नाथः मद्गुरु श्री जगद्गुरु ममात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुराधिरनाथिश्च गुरुपरमदेवता गुरुपरतरं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या प्रवीणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। Paramahamsa Sri Vishwananda Sadgurudeva Sri Vishwananda Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Deva Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Paramahamsa Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Deva Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Paramahamsa Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Deva Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Paramahamsa Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shamaye Namaha, Om Devakare Sumudyataye Namaha, Om Sushmatanave Namaha, Om Chinmayaye Namaha, Om Gurumurtaye Namaha, Om Sundaraye Namaha, Om Sulochanaye Namaha, Om Sumukhaye Namaha, Om Charavasaye Namaha, Om Keshavaye Namaha, Om Padmabhujaye Namaha, Om Andagamanaye Namaha, Om Charvaradharine Namaha, Om Ramaya Namaha, Om Mandirasthapakaye Namaha, Om Shirtibhavachakaye Namaha, Om Gayatriyajane Namaha, Om Arpanasrikarakaye Namaha, Om Vishnupujakaya Namaha, Om Namo Narayanaiti Matrapasakaya Namaha, Om Swaramaya Namaha, Om Manturakantaya Namaha, Om Krishna Sankirtana Lolupaya Namaha, Om Stotra Priyaya Namaha, Om Itavashine Namaha, Om Valmine Namaha, Om Chitrakala Visharadaya Namaha, Om Ratadharaya Namaha, Om Sadave Namaha, Om Jagatpantaya Namaha, Om Sarvalokahitaya Namaha, Om Bhakta Priyaya Namaha, Om Surataya Namaha, Om Anukulaya Namaha, Om Neyaya Namaha, Om Sudarshanaya Namaha, Om Bhaktavatsalaya Namaha, Om Premamurtaye Namaha, Om Shubhakshanaya Namaha, Om Pritidarlanaya Namaha, Om Swastidayakaya Namaha, Om Tarakaya Namaha, Om Anugrahaya Namaha, Om Vardhanaya Namaha, Om Architaya Namaha, Om Artaya Namaha, Om Siddhipradaya Namaha, Om Janardhanaya Namaha, Om Manoharaya Namaha, Om Akshaya Namaha, Om Shigeshwaraya Namaha, Om Bhasmabhushitaya Namaha, Om Atmalingaya Namaha, Om Nirvachana Prasakaya Namaha, Om Siddhisadanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Udharapasakaya Namaha, Om Sukshmaya Namaha, Om Vishwakaya Namaha, Om Satvikaya Namaha, Om Samadarshine Namaha, Om Dakshaya Namaha, Om Achintyaya Namaha, Om Nirahamkaraya Namaha, Om Nirmohaya Namaha, Om Avyagraya Namaha, Om Chitakrodaya Namaha, Om Vinayashadaya Namaha, Om Savarshaya Namaha, Om Kushalaya Namaha, Om Shamaya Namaha, Om Satyadharmaya Namaha, Om Nirvikalpaya Namaha, Om Viraktaya Namaha, Om Atindraya Namaha, Om Satyasantaya Namaha, Om Pavitraya Namaha, Om Maturisapavaya Namaha, Om Suranandaya Namaha, Om Nandanaya Namaha, Om Prasanatane Namaha, Om Bhaktanidaye Namaha, Om Sakshaye Namaha, Om Samatmaye Namaha, Om Sadayogine Namaha, Om Haraye Namaha, Om Sutapaya Namaha, Om Samyaya Namaha, Om Bhutyaya Namaha, Om Vimuktatmaya Namaha, Om Gabiraya Namaha, Om Guptaya Namaha, Om Atmaramaya Namaha, Om Srinivasaya Namaha, Om Devaya Namaha, Om Tititaraya Namaha, Om Danyaya Namaha, Om Gurave Namaha, Om Duratikramaya Namaha, Om Gahanaya Namaha, Om Bhagavate Namaha, Om Parishadanamargadashakaya Namaha, Om Kutasya Jagatakaya Namaha, Om Abhiprayaya Namaha, Om Sarvamadasamadhyaya Namaha, Om Kshamakadapavartakaya Namaha, Om Premavatara Sri Vishwananda Swami Namaha. Ato Deva Avantuno Yato Vishnu Vichakrame Prizivya Saptadhamabhi Idam Vishnu Vichakrame Treta Vidate Padam Samu Namasya Bhagam Sure Trili Pada Vichakrame Vishnu Gopa Adavyaha Ato Dharmani Dharayane Vishnu Karmani Pashyata Yato Vratani Paspashe Indrasya Yujasaka Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padagum Sada Pashyati Surya Viva Chakshurapatam Tad Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagruvagum Sasamitate Vishnurya Paramam Padam. Devaya Dhimahi Tano Vishwananda Prachodayate. Om Premavatara Vidmahe Sadguru Devaya Dhimahi Tano Vishwananda Prachodayate. Om Premavatara Vidmahe Sadguru Devaya Dhimahi Tano Vishwananda Prachodayate. Govinda Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurame Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada. Om Bhurvubhasvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhasvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvubhasvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Shri Krishna Vishnu Madhusudana Kaitabare Narayana Achyuta Trivikrama Chakrapane Tatyati Satchatara Sridhara Vasudeva Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Rukmini Samavana Hare Murare Radhe Sagopesh Surupa Brahmadi Vandya Shri Dvarakashraya Vaikuntha Pate Bhuvane Kamurte Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Vinakrite Kamatarupa Varahamurte Trivikramaya Gumale Priyurama Rama Shri Rama Krishna Yadunandana Kakirupam Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Govinda Madhava Mukunda Bharat Parisha Damodara Chatarananda Kanarishwari Gopa Gopi Jana Samprita Jinavanto Gopi Jana Priya Hare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Rakti Sai Pujagati Patapa Sai Shri Bhakparutsanana Sai Ramanga Sai Shri Gopa Bhama Mrigatalpa Shukati Sai Gopa Bhala Bahare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Kashyapatri Sukadara Gautamaji Brahmashi Sangamai Sangama Bharateshaho Tishtanti Deva Tava Darshana Bhagya Hetaho Gopala Shekhara Hare Tava Suprabhatam Mandara Chaji Tulasi Dala Malika Gere Mayani Anjali Pute Samuda Arati Tishtanti Tvatpavata Dara Dale Munindra Radha Manohara Hare Tava Suprabhatam Vedatrayam Patati Gautama Gana Rupyaha Gayanti Sarguna Gano Varada Savargaha Sankirtayanti Tava Nama Kada Visheshaha Shri Naradati Vishaya Tava Suprabhatam Govardhano Narada Gopa Kishora Gopa Gopi Jana Vrida Suresha Bhavati Pota Trilokya Mohana Suma रुक्मिणीश वरदा तव सुप्रभातम् श्रीवत्सचिन शरणागत पारिजाता भक्तार्तिभाञ्जन कृपाकर दीनबन्धो धित्यन्तगायति जनप्रिय दिव्यरूपा श्रीनन्द गोपतनया तव सुप्रभातम् पद्माक्ष पद्ममुख पद्मधर प्रमेय पद्मालय श्रीम पद्मनिवास शौरि पद्मोदवाति सुरसेविन पादपद्मा पद्माधिनाथ हरये तव सुप्रभातम् वृन्दातले विहरणाय महेन्द्रवन्द्य कन्दार्पदर्पहरचित्यसुजेशरूपा चन्द्राननाय शिरचन्दनलिप्तदेहा गोविन्द यादव हरे तव सुप्रभातम् श्रीनन्दनन्दन यशोदकुमार धीरा मायाङ्गजीनन विचोन सुपुष्पहार नीलाम्बुदासु सुशरीर रमाविहार गोपालदेव हरये तव सुप्रभातम् श्रीभाष्यजन्मवसि सत्य सुगन्धि भद्रा श्रीमित्रवीन्द्रदिवसा प्रभुपुत्रिकाजे तिष्ठन्ति दिव्यममे तव सेवनार्थम् गोपीमनप्रिय हरे तव सुप्रभातम् श्रीकृष्ण अच्युत अनन्त मुकुन्द शौरि राधा मनोहर जनार्दन चक्रपाणे नामानि दिव्यमुनयोर्धनि सम्वदन्ति ब्राह्मी मुहूर्तसमये तव सुप्रभातम् श्रीकृष्ण सुप्रभातम् ये पतन्ति अहर्निशम् भूरिकृतं महापापम् श्रीकृष्ण ग्रह हेतुकम् ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानन्द विग्रह अनादिरादिर् गोविन्द सर्वकरण गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि चिन्तामणि प्रकर सद्मशुकल्पवृक्षं लक्षावृतेषु सुरवीरविपालयन्तं लक्ष्मी सहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि वेणुं कान्तं वरविन्ददलाय दक्षं वारावतं समसितं बुधसुन्दरङ्गं कन्दर्पगोचिकमणीय विशेषशोभां गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आलोकचन्द्रकलसद्वनमाल्यवंशी रत्नाकरं प्रदयते लिखलाविलासं क्षमं दिवाङ्गललितं नियतं प्रकाशं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अङ्गानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पन्ति कलयन्ति चिरं चरन्ति आनन्दचिन्मय समुज्ज्वलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अद्वैतमच्युतानन्दिरनन्दरूपम् आद्यं पुराणपुरुषं नवयौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभमदुर्लभमात्मभक्तं Shavita Sakala Grahana Raja Samasta Sura Sarvakarana Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurudev, everybody. So first of all, welcome to the Christmas holidays here in SPN. It's going to be pretty busy, right? We start today. Today is the first day with the lecture. And there will be, if I'm not mistaken, 4 lectures overall. And going to be, you're going to watch Guruji, where he is. It also takes a lot of time, where he is, what he is doing. Plus the famous separated Darshans, where you see the happiest Prabhus ever. I'm not sure if Matajas are the happiest. God bless me to never be in there. So, for today's verse, I have chosen the verse from the story of King Chitraketu. Please tell me if you are familiar with the story. Raise your hand if you don't know who Chitraketu is. All right, cool. So, almost entire Canto 6 tells about his story. First, it tells about his incarnation as a demon, Vritrasura, because he was cursed at the end of his life. And then it goes to the story of the king Chitraketu himself. He was very pious, he was a great devotee, and he had many wives, and he had one favorite wife. He actually couldn't have children. Whatever they tried, they could not, as Guruji says. If God is not willing, no matter how much you try, you will not have any children. And so one day, sage Angira comes to his house. Sage Angira is a very mystical person. Some ascribe to him some verses in the Rig Veda. Some say that he is one of the Saptarishis, but some say not, so we don't know really who he is. Anyway, he is a guru, and very important, when he comes to his house, Sage King Chitraketu actually recognizes his divinity. Okay. And so before the sage comes to his house, he's desperate. King Chitraketu is desperate to have a son, to have somebody who will inherit his kingdom. And he's completely absorbed in that desire. He cannot find peace, anything. And so the sage comes. And he's asking, how are you? And King Chitraketu interestingly says, how come he asked me? He knows everything. He's a sage. All right, so familiar with us, when Guruji the Darshan, he asks, how are you? We say, why he asked me? He knows everything, right? And so he tells him his problem. He says, I want a child. I cannot have a child. Please help me. So he helps. Usually sages, they give piece of mango. So he gives this piece of mango to his wife, and eventually they have a boy. And the whole kingdom is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. The whole kingdom is just happy. Everybody is joyful, jubilation everywhere. Everybody is happy, including the king, of course. He is the most happiest one. But the other wives of the king, they're very envious. And so they decided to actually poison the child. Eventually the child dies. And jubilation, joyfulness changes to complete, full lamentation. Complete lamentation. He cannot find peace anyway. He just crying. The Srimad Bhagavatam is describing he's laid down in front of the body of his child, just crying, weeping. What a terrible scene, right? And at that moment, Sage Angira comes again, and now this time actually with the sage Narada, he took his friend together with him, and he's teaching him some wisdom, the reality of things. And in verse Canto 6, chapter 15, verse 20, he says the following. Tadevate param gnanam dadami graham agataha gnatva nyabhivanesham te putram eva dadamyaham, which means, when I first came to your home, I could have given you the transcendental knowledge. But when I saw that your mind was absorbed in material things, I gave you only a son who caused you jubilation and lamentation. Jubilation means joyfulness, happiness, and lamentation, we of course know, is sadness, extreme sadness. So here, first of all, Angiri is like a guru, right? And we should understand what he means by transcendental knowledge. In my opinion, it can mean two things. Either it's realization or it's instruction how to get that realization. I'm leaning towards the second one, that it's instruction, because if you read and study the stories in Srimad Bhagavatam, you will see that sages, they will never give realization just like this. They always come and they give some instruction. For example, in a Dhruva Maharaja story, we know the little child, 5 years old, he goes to the forest and starts praying to God. Sage Narada comes. First, he actually tests him. Right? He says, oh, what are you doing? You are just a child. Go and play with your toys. You don't need all these prayers. Yeah, he tests his sincerity. He sees Dhruva says, no, either you help me or you leave, please. And so what Narada does, he gives him the mantra and he gives him the form of the Lord to meditate on. The same what Guru does, isn't it? Gives the mantra to chant and the form of the Lord to focus on. So he gives the practice. That's how it usually happens. That's why I'm leaning in that. And why it's transcendental, because it comes from the transcendental source. The sages, the saints, Sadgurus, they are transcendental themselves, and every word they say is transcendental as well. Okay. And the teachings of the Guru, the presence of the Guru, is the most important thing in our lives. I don't think anybody really questions that, but I don't think everybody truly understands and acts upon it. It is the most important thing because, for example, in Srimad Bhagavatam itself, Canto 11, chapter 22, verse 10, is said that we have so many vices throughout many, many lives, so many samskaras, that we cannot do anything with ourselves. We are so entangled here. Did you ever try to analyze your ego? Did you ever try to control your ego, your mind? This is crazy. This is like a game. You remember this with the hammer. You try to hit this thing that pops out from the holes. You know, this game and like in entertainment centers. It seems like you hit it and then it pops out from another hole. It seems like you hit it, then it pops out from another hole. Just like that. The same with the ego. It seems like you controlled it. It seems like you realize how it works. Then it just pumps out from another place. Yeah, so it kind of like masquerades itself. Seems like you figure it out and then it just opens up another. For example, like I'm on the path almost 18 years. I can observe my ego. And I can see how much I want sometimes acceptance, how I want everybody to see me and some kind of light, you know, and I can do nothing about it. Literally nothing. Absolutely. Just don't know what to do. You cannot control it at all. And so how does Guruji do it? It's interesting. In the past, he used to say, I came to open the hearts of men. You remember? Then he used to say, I came to challenge the mind. And then, I think like around 2 years later, he said his famous, I will hammer you, you will come to perfection, and then I will still hammer you. Okay. And so funny. Actually, this three is the same process. Opening the heart is just a fancy way to say, I will challenge your mind. This is the same process. I'll give you an example. I think it was this summer, actually, at Guruji's birthday. One Mataji came to me, almost in tears, and she said, Brishkishore, day and night, I was preparing the present for Guruji. Then I come, I wait for him days to give him this present. Then she describes the situation. She's sitting, waiting for him there, down in the tent. He comes nearby and he stands as if she doesn't exist. He doesn't look at her. She's standing with the present to give him with a smile. She probably expected Guruji, she gives the present and Guruji smiles, probably pet her or hugs her, I don't know, all these things that we usually expect. And Guruji just after some minutes, he just looks at her like this. What are you doing? What do you want? Give it to the Swami. Yeah. And so, of course, she's in tears. She prepared the present for so many days and nights, as she was telling me the story. And so, in the process of conversation, she actually told me that she prayed to him. She prayed, please remove everything that is between me and you. And she probably expected that everything between us and him is just like some visa situation or job or money problems, things like this. No, it's not. This is just our ego. That's it. We are not separated from him. He is always with us. Paramatma is always inside of us. So why we do not perceive him? Just because of our mind, because of our absorption in material things. That's it. So she asked herself. So he opens the heart, and the heart, it's in the mind. Heart is not here, that pumping the blood. Right, heart is in the mind. That's why his presence. Did you actually read Guruji's tweet 2 days ago, 22nd of December? Please do read it. Actually, give me the promise that you will read it more than 5 times. Who will give the promise? Give the promise. This tweet is legendary, guys. The thing he wrote in there is legendary. Let me read you a couple of things from there. I have it here. Through the Bhagavad Gita, Guruji is writing, the world has heard of 18 forms of yoga. 18 chapters, so Guruji sometimes he says 18 forms of path, 18 forms of yoga. But there is a completely hidden 19th form of yoga, which is bestowed so rarely that Bhagavan Krishna doesn't even mention it. The avatars of Bhagavan come and people have different types of relationship with them. So he then goes to describe sages, different devis like Rukmini and Sita, friends like Lakshmana and Uddhava and so on. In the Swarupa of Bhagavan, as the Sadguru, each and every jiva is equidistant from him. So nobody is close, nobody is distant. Equally. Not just in the spiritual world, but also here on earth. It is the most pure Bhagavat Swarupa, the Sadguru. The Sadguru is the most pure incarnation of Bhagavan. That's what Guruji is saying. All are loved and blessed equally by him. It is up to each one to desire to completely submerge into his prem or not. I will come to this later. Hence, the 19th most secret, most inexplicable form of yoga, the culmination of all bhakti yoga, is Sadguru Yoga. This is described in our Siddhanta when you get the book, Sadguru Yoga. So we have different, like Guruji is saying here also, he says there are infinite forms of bhakti yoga actually, but the Sadguru is the most pure. Because the process when you are with the Sadguru, the process of bhakti yoga is completely different from all forms of bhakti yoga. Completely different. And then he says, he glorifying the Sadguru, he says, only the Sadguru who incarnates extremely rarely can open up this form of yoga to the world, and only the most deeply humble people can ever see even a shadow of its reality. And then he goes on, and then he says, not even all Sadgurus come at the same highest Bhagavan Svarupa. So they're all different in a way. They're all fully connected, and hence there is no judgment of a greater or lesser at their level. But, says Guruji, there is one among them who is beyond the understanding of any of them also. He's talking, in my opinion, he's talking about him. So did you hear what he said right now? Other avatars of the Lord cannot even understand him. Who is he? Who is he? I have goosebumps. I don't know about you. This is crazy. And then he says, if you have a grace to know such a being, spend your lives every ounce. Ounce is a measure of mass. It's like you can say every gram. You should spend every gram of your prana to hold unto his lotus feet. Spend every gram of your prana to hold unto his feet. That's how important he is. And so then comes the question, the most important question of the satsang. Is it possible to miss? Is it possible to do a mistake on a spiritual path? And it is surprisingly, many people think that it's not possible. For example, our dear friend, our beloved Rishi Adityanandaji, think it's not possible. He's I had many discussions with him at the lunch table. Due to his soft-heartedness and innocent nature, he thinks that the Lord is pure, the Lord is perfect, so we are all perfect and we cannot do a mistake because of him. I disagree completely. There are so many stories. For example, there are stories like people leave the path, they done great offense. And Guruji, I asked about them, will this person come back? Guruji said, no, I will not take him. He had only one chance. I will not take. There are other examples. My example, for example, I was very arrogant when I was small, very arrogant. And it all pops out that I shouted at Guruji in 2011, I believe. I don't remember exactly. I shouted at him and he told me, go and look for another guru. I'm not your guru anymore. Then he forgave me, of course, and he told me, you got only one chance left. Put it very deeply into your mind. You have one chance left. You spent already two. Where I spent two, I don't know. I know one. Where the other one went, I don't know. He just took it away, but I don't know. So we have some kind of chances, okay? And look how, I just read his tweet, how rare this incarnation is. Extremely rare. It seems like we have just came, we just paid like 300 euros to get Atma Kriya, came by chance here, some life events, brought us all here. This is not true. We have worked so many lives to get in here. This is crazy. Guruji, I think in Shandilya Bhakti Sutra, he said that every life is like, when bees, they produce honey, every bee produces the whole life, it produces only one drop of honey. In the same way, we, throughout our whole life, we can produce only one drop of Amrita for this, and we need the whole bucket in order to meet such an entity as him. So we should not waste it. So why do we waste it? And for me, I don't know why so many people even question that we can do a mistake. Like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 3, Manushanam sahasra shukashiti atati siddhaye, that even those who look for perfection, who really reaches the perfection. Guruji in Navaratri, he used to repeat this verse constantly, several times throughout 9 days. Krishna says, you might say, for example, Brishkishore, but wait, in chapter 2, verse 40, Krishna says, there is nothing to lose on a spiritual path. There is no failure. Well, I will say, in chapter 18, verse 58, Krishna says, focus your mind on me, and by focusing your mind on me, you will safely go through the test in your life, through the difficulties in your life. But, Krishna says, if you don't listen to me, you will be ruined. So how these two come together? What does Krishna mean when he says there is no failure? In my opinion, when he says there is no failure, he means that by engaging in spirituality, we develop certain samskaras, we develop certain habits. And these habits actually go with us throughout lives. Because in chapter 18, verse 8, Krishna says that from one body to another, our soul passes our mind. And our samskaras are in our mind, in the chitta. So the chitta travels with us. Our samskaras, our habits travel with us. So in that sense, there is no failure. But we can miss his teachings, we can miss his blessings by, if you go back to the verse, Sage Angiri is saying, when I first came to your home, I could have given you the transcendental knowledge. Yeah, so he was willing to give. But when I saw that your mind was absorbed in material things, I gave you only a son who caused you jubilation and lamentation. In the same story, when it goes further, Sage Narada brings back to life the child. He brings back the soul of the child. And he says, would you like to stay here in this body? I can revive you. And the child is saying, what are you talking about? What mothers and fathers are you talking about? I had millions of fathers. I had millions of mothers. I myself was million times father and mother myself. The soul is immutable. Who are you talking about? I am the soul. Everything is the soul. And we ascribe ourselves all these roles, and we play this drama of life, And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 62 and 63, these are the famous verses. I hope you remember them by now. Krishna says that when we absorbed into some desires, some material things, we become attached to these thoughts. Because thoughts bring pleasure. Okay, we think about something, then attachment comes, more and more we think about it, then we desire actually to bring this experience from the mental state to the experiential outside state in a way. Then the desire, either it comes true or not, we feel, Krishna says, anger. It's not really anger. It can be just dissatisfaction, some unease and things like this. Then our mind becomes destroyed. We lose, he says, we lose the ability to discriminate. We lose the ability to develop, to think what is right, what is wrong for us. And then we behave like King Chitraketu. When Guruji comes, we do such a mistake. He is able to give us realization, to give us instruction personally for us, and we miss it. And that's why, look, Christmas is coming. We will have dinners, we will have lunches. Like today, for example, lunch with residents. I have no idea what it is. Like why we will lunch with residents, what it is, I don't know. Observe what you think about. Observe what you're speaking about. Okay, Sangha, it's a Sat Sangha. It's not just random gathering of people. It's gathering of people who are speaking about Sat, who are speaking about the truth, who think about the truth. Chapter 10, verse 9, Krishna says it's the gathering of people who speak about His glories. And they what? They derive bliss and contentment. You will not derive bliss and contentment from food, a little bit from food. Okay, let's be honest. Yeah, but not as much. But bliss and contentment really just from His glories, and His glories are endless. Okay, so for this Christmas holidays, it's okay to celebrate, but just keep in mind motivation and where your mind is. Okay, Jai Gurudev. Have a nice holidays.
Shri Vitala Giri Hari Parabrahmane Namaha. 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 Shri Vitala Giri Hari Parabrahmane Dina Bhakta Dukkha Harita Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Prem se bolo Shri Lakshmi Narayana Bhagavan ki. Sri Bhutabhrteshwarnath Bhagavan ki. Shri Radha Krishna Kanelan ki. Avatar Kriya Babaji ki. Shri Ramanujacharya ki. Prem se bolo Sadgurudeva Sri Swami Vishwananda Prabhu ki. Om Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Chanvaramaya Paraya Paramapurushaaya Parakarma Mantra Yanta Tanta Vashatasya Sastra Samhara Samhara Vityor Muche Muche. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshana Vitthitrana Prita Savijishvana Humpat Harashmahi Parabrahmani Parabhyajashe Slava. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Jai Jai Shri